I will try to speak in English.
Oh, good.
Fine. And if I may help
Yes, if
with
I
anything?
will not be able to explain enough, I will ask you to
Okay.
help me.
That would
Be
be,
useful for you to have a break.
we wanted to, one of the things that interests us was, we know very little either in the US or in Romania or in what's been published in LIS on frequent users in a library. And one of the issues that we're interested in is how do frequent users change, or do they change as a library becomes more and more net organized? And we thought that because we thought that your association of friends of the library would be people that were more committed to the library. That's why we thought we would talk to you. I just thought we'd try to explain the reasoning why we're sitting here now. And maybe you could start by telling us a little bit about the association.
Okay. We started in 2002, and we have some Peace Corps volunteers.
Was this, how did the idea...
It was an old idea because I started to work with NGOs since 1994. I came into library. I've worked with Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Frontiers from Belgium.
Okay.
I worked with them, and they were an NGO, a very developed
very good
NGO,
one.
yeah, good one. And after that, my experience with NGOs was to try to find through an NGO more funds for the library. This was the first idea, and to develop all kinds of services. And we didn't have enough money, financial support, so we decided to develop some projects through NGOs and attract more money for the library.
So, what's your title now? Are you a librarian now?
I am a librarian, and I am the president of NGO. Free job. I mean, I'm not paid.
Okay, so you're a librarian on staff.
I'm paid.
Okay, but your job you work
Yes.
also for the library as a librarian.
Yes,
Okay.
I am librarian in marketing service.
Okay.
What was your previous training? You said you started out working for NGOs. Your university training in libraries or marketing or economics or?
I finished nursing school first.
Really?
Yes, and this is why I decided to work with and I work with them like a social worker with gypsies in gypsies community for 3 years. During this time, I decided to do more, and I started the law university in Cluj. And when the Mesratier decided to finish their work in Cluj, I tried to find another job. So I was student in the same time, and I decided to come, trying to find different jobs. I found a free job here, and I decided to come in the library. And after that I finished the law, but that's because it was almost 2 years in the library and was a place where I found myself. So I decided to don't do more in law, to do more in
So did you then have special training for your job in the library?
Yes, and after I came here, I trainings like library, science, information, something like this.
And that
was for 2 years. It's like post-universitar.
After graduating.
After graduating, something like this.
And that was in Bucharest for your work?
It was 1 year and 1 year in Bucharest. And after that, I had a master degree in master. Dar știu că e MA, nu știu cum să traduc. Master degree in cultural management. For 2 years in university in
Aveam și
Kazan.
voi?
No.
What did you do your thesis on? When you do a master's, do you have a thesis?
Yeah.
in-
Why? Or
No, I'm just curious the topic.
my was in marketing again, and it was about our library and the NGOs. Our
Okay.
NGO.
Okay.
It was like a practical thing with different interviews and stuff like this.
Okay. All right.
Was focused
Sorry,
on marketing.
I didn't mean to go down biography, but I was
It's
curious.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know how much you will use this one.
Okay, let's go back to the Friends of the Library.
Yeah,
The
in
Peace Corps-
2002, because we have here some Peace Corps volunteers, and with my law knowledge, we decided to do an NGO. But to something says to do this, it was a little bit expensive in Romania. I mean, you need some amount of money to start it. So, Peace Corps volunteers, we have here too, a family, and they work for community, and they've been for a few times in the library, and we were very close, and they were like users first time for the library, and they came here to borrow books and...
David and...
No, it wasn't David.
It wasn't... You know David, no?
No.
David, we've got to our high schools 2 volunteers for teaching.
In Zalău were a lot of volunteers
Yeah.
from Peace Corps, and some of them were for schools, and some of them was for communities, for NGOs, you know. But I've worked only for
you are talking
communities.
about are for communities.
Yes,
Oh,
and
volunteers.
we have a few. So we have a couple here. He was very nice with us, and he was all the time asking, what do you need, what do you help, you know, like Americans, what can I help you, something like this. And we decided to do this, and I've wrote all the papers for, and they came with the money. So we did it, and after that we started to write projects. I mean, not projects. Sorry, I forgot in Romanian the word.
Grants?
Grants. Yeah, we started to write grants and ask for money for different things. So this is how we put the internet in the library. It was money from AOL, you know, AOL, the big company. Came from AOL and from Peace Corps, of course. And in 2002, end of 2002, we had already the internet in the library.
So when you have an NGO, like Friends of the Library is essentially an NGO, is this?
Yes.
And you can use
But,
this-
sorry, only a few things to clear your mind. Our Friends of the Library is not similar like Friends of the Library from United States.
That's what we're trying to find out.
It's really, I mean, it's really different because
What's the difference?
the difference is, I mean, in my opinion, it's huge. Because I was there and I speak with the president of Friends of the Library in the library from, it was a county library in Washington DC, I don't know, in state. And there, not the librarians are members. I mean, the people from community are members. They try to attract money from the community, and the librarians came with a grant asking from them money. I mean, it's not the same here.
So here you get librarians doing most of the work.
I mean, almost of our members are librarians, and we attract a few people from the community. In that time was a vice mayor, and was somebody from City Hall, and we have a few users, librarians, almost of them. Because I work with librarians in this.
Okay. Having this NGO, it allows you to get money that you would not get if you buy through the library. Okay, so
This is why we
That's what I
decided
thought.
to.
Yeah. It's a parallel organization in
Exactly.
a way that allows you to.
Yes, because a lot of money before we get in EU, we
Join.
join EU, a lot of money came only for NGOs, not for public administration or local administration. So we decided to do this, to write grants and to track money.
Now, tell us more about members of the community that are part of this NGO.
We have a few users, and we have a lot of collaboration with different NGOs from Zalău, like Blue Ants Association, local club of teenagers, something like this. We had a few collaboration with Volunteer Center, another NGO, with the Handicap Center. We have different collaboration with them.
And the grants that you're applying for,
Yes.
are they foreign grants, or are some of them based in Romania, some in Europe, some in the
No,
US?
in Zalău.
Okay.
I mean, they were like a collaborator, partner.
The groups are, but when you're applying for the grants,
Yes.
are the grants you're applying for from, Romanian funds, from European
Different.
funds? So
Yes.
do you have a lot of choices
Yes.
then, foreign
Yes.
sources?
And we applied for Romanian grants,
Okay.
US grants, EU grants. Maybe
Which
I will
ones would
give
you say you would go first to?
Was United States grants first. AOL. It was an American.
No, but if you are now to look into grants for, let's say you wanted to do a project about rebuilding this room.
I tried
Would
to
you first go to which kind of fund? Romanian?
where I found the
Wherever.
I mean, it's not.
'Cause it-
I'm not focused in something.
So are some of them easier to get?
Yes.
Which ones?
Few Romanians. PDSC. Nu mai știu.
That's the Foundation
But-
for the Development of Civil Society.
Civil society. Yeah, and TCE, ceva, nu mai știu cum îi zice exact.
For Central European.
Yes. We applied for one grant. And we have from EU, some funds from EU, and from United States too. A few of them are from Holland.
Really?
And Denmark, but they're optional.
Do you have,
I was just going to ask before, in terms of the number of grants you can apply for, are there many more now since you've joined the EU? What's the difference, or it's same? They haven't
No.
increased.
After we joined the EU, they
Fewer. Okay.
and you can see this in our CV of AOs because we didn't get so
Okay.
much money. But in the same time, we asked money. A few years ago, we asked money from Connex. We asked money from Minister of Culture, but we didn't get any money from them. So we wrote a lot of projects, but we didn't get the money from
The
them.
Ministry of Culture is usually hard to...
No, but they decided to give money to put the internet in all the commune libraries. A few years ago, 2005 or 6, something like this. And after that, they decided that they will not have enough money to cover all the costs for this. And in 2008, the IRX came in Romania. So we already have the project written.
So you just applied with it?
Yeah, again, for the same thing, because if we weren't able to get the money from Minister of Culture,
That's nice. You did the work and you can keep sending it until you get the
kind
money.
of.
Yeah.
But the difference was, first was in Romania, second was in English.
do you have a strategic use to think about how your grants will help build the library over time? Or is it more in terms of what's available at the present moment?
Not necessary. More we are why we want to improve in the library. This is my idea. And what space we have. Because in last 4 years we moved around in the city. It wasn't very pleased for us to. So this is why we couldn't develop too much project. Because everybody asks you, let's say they give you money to, I don't know what, to buy computers, let's say, but they ask you your part, attribute in this, and you have to have the place to arrange the place and something like because we were moved all the time. We moved all the time in different places from Zalău. We weren't able to.
I was asking if that made it harder for you.
Yes, for a few we couldn't.
So everybody
and I
has
was
this
1 year and a half in my
maternity leave.
Didn't work, so I was home. Nobody wrote anything.
So
now that the library is in the midst of kind of bringing itself back together, centralizing. And now that you're in the midst of an internet innovation, what do you see the next step for the library to be? Where do we go from here?
Let's need to think, because we need a library, a more building for, this is, in my opinion, next step for the library is to have a building for all the, we are here only a part. We have children library, I don't know if you have, and we have adult library across the street, the internet, and we are in 4 places.
But is there a building in Zalău that's empty and you could move everything there?
No, but they already signed for a new building.
Like building one?
Yes.
And what
we are, the manager and everybody's.
What I'm asking is, now that you've made these plans and have gotten money to do this, what are you thinking is next in the future?
After the building?
After the building.
We tried first to develop new services. For example, our last idea was a project for deaf and blind people. We already bought the special books for them, and we have some special
the readers. They showed
readers.
them across the street.
Yeah, and this is our last idea, and we want to improve the relation with users. We try to develop. We had before, but for a few time, because we moved around, we stopped, and now we try to open again the idea with the literature club, something like this. Literature club was, and we already had the 2 meetings with teachers.
Tell us about the literature club.
It was a club when are coming who wants to read or who wants to write something, and they come here, speak about a topic or an author or something like this. They want to read themselves
their own writings.
Yes, own writings. Yes.
There a subject, a certain book you're going to write about, I don't know what.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. For example, if, let's say, this week we try to make a special anniversary for, let's say, Mark Twain, or something like this. They come and discuss about his...
How often do they meet?
Twice a month.
When is the next
Because we had last Thursday, so next week on Thursday. But we'll not be able, because next week on Thursday we have another
book launching.
It's not a book launching. It's more you are invited if you want to come next Thursday and 4:30 in County Council big room. La Consiliul Județean, în sala mare a Consiliului Județean, la 4:30 joia viitoare avem o întâlnire. Este o temă științifică de medicină. Medical meeting, and somebody from Bucharest are coming.
Is maybe the poster that's on
Yes,
the door?
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I put it in the morning.
So
So he's not be able to be on next week, so we'll be.
Then that's fine.
Yeah.
We're having the medical.
Yeah. And in the same time, we have a theater group here called EOS, and they try to do a presentation, to play, to perform, for different occasions, and now they are trying to prepare something for summer, because in summer we have different special shows in Zalău. I mean Zalău days and Roman days, because we have Pororism. Have you been to Pororism?
We want to go.
Not yet.
We have T-shirts from the museum, so that's a first.
But have you been there?
No.
Okay.
We
To the
will.
You
museum.
have to go because it's really special for
Wednesday.
Zalău.
One of the things is that with your interest in NGOs and culture and management, what about partnerships with other institutions?
Not too much with museum, because they are focused on different things. They are focused more in buildings, in places. We are not in buildings. No. We are more in, let's say, books, users.
What do you mean by they're focused on
Deci ei
buildings?
lucrează mai mult cu monumente, cu
Ah, ok.
arheologie, cu
So they're more into archaeology and monuments and stuff.
turism. Noi nu suntem despre asta. Deci, this is why we don't have, let's say, a
I
special.
have a question about the clubs you were talking about, the theater group and the literature group. Is that mostly for teenagers, for
Yes.
younger people?
Yes.
One of the problems we have, especially as we introduced internet into the libraries, is teenagers come and younger people come, but then they do a little bit for school, but they're spending more time on the internet, playing games, chatting with their friends, doing non-school or learning-related things. Is this a problem here, or a concern?
When we started to have internet in the library, we decided to don't let them to chat.
How do you do that?
They goes to but that was a few years ago. Goes to the internet cafe or something like this. But now they can come and send emails, and decided if we'll not let them to do this, we will. Because almost of them are coming for their person, and we don't let them to go through a pornographic or.
Right.
How do you ban these? Like, do you have sites that are banned?
Yes, and we have sites.
Like, if I want to go into a pornographic site,
You
the
can't.
computer says I cannot do
Yes,
it.
you can't. And in the same time, we have the librarian there.
Yeah, for super. Yeah. And just having adults in the room will make a difference.
Yeah. And then it's good when they're here.
Because we had the problem with that one of them, because not all the sites are in their name pornographic.
Right, of course.
But yeah, things get
So
through
you
the
can go through some of them without the computer.
Yeah, the filters don't
Yes.
filter
Yes.
everything.
One of the things we were wondering if you could help us with is most of the users of the library we've seen and observed, both at the hospital, at the adult center, and here, tend to be adolescents. Mainly, we've seen some older people, but one of the things we were hoping is that you could suggest some people who are passionate about the library that we could talk to. Because one of the things we'd like to know about is how does the library fit into the lives of people that are just not
Like users.
Yes,
Yeah.
who are not casual users.
I will give you a name, and she speaks English. And she was in United States too.
Oh, good.
And she is the member of NGO.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, but I will speak with her.
What's her name?
Ramona Bukovan.
Okay. We thought it's Luisa Zaharia because we met her.
So you know her?
Luisa Zaharia.
When did you meet her?
We met her at the internet center, the poetess.
Yes, the
Yes,
public.
she was there.
Yeah.
Because I waited here and then she was my colleague for 1 year. And when I
colleague.
saw her, I don't miss her at all. I don't miss her at all. She was my colleague for 1 year
Okay.
to the high school.
She's
Cine
older.
lui Zalău?
Yes, she's old.
Are you from Zalău?
Strange. Yes, I'm Fijian.
And are you from Zalău too? From
No.
where are you?
Bușteni,
Then,
where you had your training.
I know. I've been in Bușten for New Year.
Yeah, I mountains for New Year.
Well, I wonder...
Sorry.
Please.
Deci tu ești din Zalău, că n-am prins ideea. Și faci traducere pentru ei?
Yes.
Okay.
I wonder if you would like to have other names for us at least, because
like
there seems to be
here,
a difference of opinion.
I have to ask
Okay,
my colleagues who are work straight to users, because we have a few of them who are coming daily.
Okay, Cheryl, maybe, do you have your business card?
Yeah, I
Maybe-
gave you my
Yes,
card
I
yesterday.
have
You can email her,
Okay.
please, that way it's easier.
To give you some names,
Some
and I will
names.
speak with them to ask if they
If it's
want
okay.
to speak with you.
Could that be possible today so that we can, no.
Well, it's-
Don't ask me
Okay.
today and ask me to do it today. So
No, I'm
it's
asking
almost
you.
impossible.
No.
But I can speak with my colleagues to
And
find
mail us
you.
as soon as you can.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
I
We
have
understand.
already a few in my mind who are coming to the reading room. In the reading room, they are coming every day, and they are prepared for their exam through university. And I'm sure that they are speaking. They speak English. So
We could talk to people. there,
yes,
too.
yes.
Are they some students?
We,
La liceu, ultimul an la liceu și se pregătesc. La CNS.
CNS.
Da, I have in my mind already two goals.
okay. Because we know you are very busy. Your director this morning told us that you had a number of positions that you cannot fill.
Yeah.
And you are essentially working 3 or 4 jobs. So we understand why you can't,
Well, I can give you, if you want, to our website www.bgs.ro. We have, this is our website, and there you have a link through Asociația Prietenii Bibliotecii, and you can find all our projects,
Good.
and you have a summary in English to our website. You can find there all kinds of inclusive the
And
NGOs projects.
that'll keep us busy
English.
while you're looking for people.
Many things to look at.
Do you have any questions for us? Because one of the things we just spoke with your director and
This
tried.
is why you are here.
Yes. Right, clarify that.
I guess, or
All right.
everybody
Is asking.
Okay.
is asking.
This is my university is Ball State University in Indiana. What you see sitting around the room is a class. Class is called ethnographic fieldwork. Because of Professor Gator's and my interest in Romanian and information and internet, we bring students here, often from library science, train them in how to understand how libraries work and what users need today in using methods that are not statistical. This is an ethnographic, anthropological approach to gathering information that complements what statisticians and surveys do. And I think it's very important as librarians become more user-centered and try to build ties to the community. They use a variety of methods. I, with my students, have published 3 or 4 papers on Romania, what we call community analysis. And this is how can we make the best fit between library staff, library resources, and the community. So my students are getting 6 credits for this, which is equivalent to 2/3 of a semester. So they're doing much work because there's much credit for it.
And why you are coming in? What are you coming in Romania? Or how you decided to
How
come
did you
here?
decide?
Gail and I, in 2004, came to Romania for the first time.
Gail's the other teacher.
Yeah, even the other professor. And she and I were in a small village in Transylvania, Lunca Ilve,
Lunca.
and she
In
came.
Bistrița. In Bistrița?
Yeah. She came to ride horses there. And Gail rides, she has horses. And we decided within 3 or 4 days, this would be a wonderful place to learn students. Because a lot of what is going on in Romania in this area is true in every new nation. Most of my work had been, all of Gail's work had been in the US, and mine had always been in Scandinavia. And this was completely by accident. This is our 5th visit, and we will continue to work in Romania as long as we can.
And how we decide to come in Zalău?
There was a former Peace Corps volunteer, and he gave a talk at my university about the World Bank project. And afterwards, you know, we went because how many people in America talked about Romania? So we went over and sat down and took notes. At the end, you know, we went up and talked to him about where in Romania this work. And he told us Zalău and the communities around it. And since all our other villages have been in Transylvania, we said, perfect. And that was how we originally started. It was accident. And then we started to talk to people from Gates, and they said, what a happy, good accident. Because you had already committed, we'd done all our planning to come here, and they said, oh, by the way,
we have biblionet.
Would you like to study and learn about it?
So that's the history.
Fortunately, we've been in the pilot project with biblionet, so we've been first with other 3 libraries from Romania who were involved in this gate.
Stan Anderson came and visited with us on Tuesday and gave us a presentation.
Marcel, I mean.
Yes.
I know Marcel.
So that's pretty much the story.
How you?
And we essentially told your director, because she asked the same question, you know, it's not normal for Americans to get off the bus in Zalău unless there's a reason.
I mean, just maybe you know already, but the Peace Corps volunteers are not allowed to travel with their own car in Romania. This is the rule of Peace Corps.
Oh, they can't. They just can't drive.
Yes,
they don't have
can't.
permission.
But not
It's
only in
probably
Romania.
For insurance reasons.
It's
Not
nowhere.
Really?
Yeah. So
That's often
when we
true
decided
for-
to go with
for-
them, we took with our car.
That's very true for many students at universities. When they go abroad, they're not allowed to travel. Like on their study abroad year.
Yes.
In Weimar, you cannot drive a car in a foreign country because you're covered under the university's insurance plan. So if anything happens to you, they won't cover it. You can't do it. You can't like bungee jump or skydive. No at-risk behaviors.
No fun.
Because you're under their insurance, which it would be through the roof if everybody was coming to Romania and driving on the Peace Corps.
I can
But in Peace Corps they have. I was a counterpart for a few Peace Corps volunteers, so we were
You know all
trained
about
how to take care of.
You know all about the bureaucracy of the Peace Corps.
Yeah. Kind of.
Well, listen, I want to thank you for your time.
You are welcome.
We appreciate your help
Yes.
and also your explanation.
Well, I'm here since 1998, so
I have a lot to talk about.
yeah. And I've been in a few, not only in marketing, you know, children's library, reading room, in catalogare, cataloging.
One more question. Do you have any material on the Friends Library webpage, of course?
Yes.
Like a list of members.
Or a brochure or advertising.
Anything
about-
that you may have.
have.
Very good.
But yes, I've done one for our library because I will try to see if I have something in English.
Doesn't matter, you
Yeah.
got Romanian.
Yeah, there's 3 of us.
So I have in Romanian a few materials and can give you our statute. Yes, and there you will find all the rules.
That's great.
But we're going to go back over to the Internet Center to do a bit more observation. Maria said she had photocopies of newspaper articles on
Yeah, and she spoke to Corina. She has to give me some articles for her.
Right, okay. And I wasn't sure where we are with that.
Do you want them now? or you will come next
Yeah.
week?
If you could get them for us now, that would be great, otherwise, you know.
So you
if
have
you're-
to wait a little bit to
Okay.
see
Okay.
what I have in my computer.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And if you, you can send me the names whenever you get them, but if you ever have other questions or want to keep in touch, you have my
Okay.
email address, so
I like
please.
Do you have internet? Where are you?
Yeah, we have one.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
And it's, now that it's